all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of
If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear.
Make America great again.
The Big Mig.
Well, good morning and welcome back to the Big Mig Show. I'm your host, Lance Migliaccio, with my co-host, George Ballantine. It's rise and grind, tip of the spear, edge of the knife. George B., man, we're back. Or I'm back, I should say. You've been here. I haven't been, of course. I want to apologize to the audience. Got myself a little under the weather, and I'm back here grinding it out. George, what's up, bro? I know you've been busy.
Real quick,
so thank you.
The Mike Schwartz Show rated us, so make sure you go check him out, give him a follow, support, like, do everything for him. And Doc Mike Schwartz is going to be on the show Friday. And his book, that Fauci, that might come in handy right now.
I just got the Mike Schwartz book load, and I want to point out, so I got...
Did he autograph it for you?
Go ahead. Fauci's Fiction. Let me hold that up here all over next to my face. There you go. Fauci's Fiction. Got that, baby, which that's going to come in real handy. I got the Vaccine Fiction.
Uh-oh.
So that's going to come in real handy, too, I think, with everything that's going on. Right? And Mike Schwartz's other book, The Only Way to Save America. So listen, if you don't know Mike Schwartz, he's a great guy, a close friend of ours. I want to say thanks to him for sending those books. And of course, get over there. Support Mike. It's a great way to support him. Buy a couple of his books. Besides the fact that he's a really brilliant, a really intelligent guy. I haven't had a chance to read them yet. They just came in yesterday. So I'm going to get to it here. Start reading at least one of them. Probably start with Fauci's Fiction, with everything that's going on with that guy. And that's the thing, you guys have seen us on this show over and over again. We talk about transparency, accountability, and consequences for your actions. I don't know. Might be some big changes. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But before we kick it off, let's thank our sponsors. As always, the guys over at Genesis Gold Group. George and I love our silver and gold. Of course, I'm holding up the 62.2 grand prepper bar, perforated and very easily broken down into your choice of 3 separate denominations. Of course, it fits a multitude of needs, and I don't care whether it's asset protection from inflation, diversification, economic turmoil, or in the case of this prepper bar, it's very unique utility for barter and trade because, of course, all you have to do is snap off a small piece to make a payment, 3 different denominations. Comes with an assay report, no counterfeit gold coming out of Genesis Gold Group. You never have to worry about that. These guys have been in the business for decades. We teamed up with them because they have a stellar reputation. George makes it easy. You just take a snapshot of that QR code up on the screen. It'll take you right after the show. Head over there, pick up a few, stick them in your underwear drawer, your gun safe, sock drawer, wherever you want to stash or hide things, the rafters of your basement maybe. TheBigMigBar.com. Now, we've got 2 new promo codes for you, cars. Big Mig Gold will get you 5% off on the gold. That's Big Mig Gold. And Big Mig Silver will get you 5% off on the silver. Or you can call them at 888-526-7154, 888-526-7154, TheBigMigBar.com.
No singing, no nothing today.
Yeah, I'm sure. You've had a lot going on, man. Thanks for...
I don't know. Like, I know the stream is working, but it's crazy as it may seem. It's not playing in Rumble for me. The chat's working, but the stream is not playing. It's playing for other people, but not for me. So, yeah, weird.
Yeah,
go figure that.
And that's that's a tough thing. There's always something technical going on, and then on top of it, having to do all the work. So appreciate you covering, man. I'm still feeling a little under the weather, guys, but of course. Hopefully I'll be getting better soon. Stomach bug. I don't know what I picked up, but pretty rough. Now, George, you're telling me you get a cold coming on, huh?
Seems like it.
Man, that sucks. Was somebody around you sick, or did you just catch it out and about?
No, they fucking put the fucking heat up high in the so I put the heat. I don't. It's crazy. Put the heat on. I got to open the window, and it's just retarded.
Yeah, it's always tough. All right. Well, listen. We've talked about it. George, I'm. It's interesting. Todd Blanche already has more deep state indictments than in what, a week, 2 weeks? How long has he been in there now?
Who?
Todd Blanche.
I don't know, a couple weeks.
I think he has more deep state arrests than Pam Bondi's whole term.
Without a doubt. He got more indictments, I think, like legitimate indictments, I should say.
Yeah. And that's the point, right? You just can't, you have to look at it from this, right? You have to think and say, well, how is that possible? Todd Blanche just got in here, just started, and he's got more arrests than Pam Bondi. Yeah. I don't understand that. I don't even see how that's possible.
Me either. But I don't know. Maybe Trump lit a fire under their ass. I mean, who the freak knows? But better late than never, right? Better.
Well, and that's the Trump effect, right? We've talked about it on the show that when it comes to stuff that's for Trump, when it's something directly against Trump, they seem to move more rapidly than they do when they're operating for the American people. I mean, I'm not saying we're out of the woods yet, guys, because there's still a lot of stuff that needs to happen. But at the end of the day, at least we've got to start. And that's really the good news. We've at least started on some arrests. What are we talking about?
Well,
talking about Anthony Fauci. It looks like his now here's a question. George and I brought this up. George brought this up to me. We've got top advisor to Anthony Fauci, right? We've got him indicted on several charges by the Department of Justice. And he's one of the top cronies of one of the most destructive political figures in recent history or memory, that I think, based on what the pandemic did to people. He's been indicted by the DOJ, of course, under Todd Blanche's watch, not Pam Bondi. But George brings up a valid point. What are we going to do about these? I don't know, George, if you have any more time to think about it. What are we going to do about these auto pen pardons?
What probably are we going to do? I know what we would do.
About the American people. I know what we would do, but what are we going to do as a group, as an audience, as a show?
Keep putting the pressure on, man. That's all we could do. You can call your constituents. I mean, I don't know how good that's going to be, but you can call the DOJ too. Start bitching. Call the FBI and start bitching. Why not? Call everybody. Screw it. Call everybody and start complaining. And we just have to keep hammering at it on the show, man. Sooner or later, they're going to have to do something if they're not doing something already. I'm pretty sure Anthony Fauci is going to see his number 2 got indicted and he's going to open his mouth and put his foot in his mouth, because he thinks he's untouchable because of the pardon. But I don't know. Does a pardon work if you knowingly, willingly broke the law and shit? Is that still valid for that?
A presidential pardon falls into a weird category. I've done some research on it. No, by no means am I what I would consider an expert on it. But it's a weird category. Excuse me.
God bless you.
Excuse me. It's a weird category because in historically they've almost been untouchable. But of course, it's never been legally addressed. Now, Joe Biden's not the first one to ever use the auto pen. The auto pen's been used, but it's usually by the authority of the president. Not independently. It's not like people were breaking into the drawer of Joe Biden's office.
Whoa.
or another president's office and just saying, hey, I'm going to use this. This is a good idea.
Lance, you were glitching your camera for a second. I don't know what's going on.
What's going on there. I saw that. I think it was the computer, actually. So here's the thing. I don't know, George. I don't know what they're going to do with those auto pen pardons. We know a lot of them happen probably with no authority from Joe Biden. He's not going to step up and say, hey, by the way, I didn't know. I made a list. I didn't know about any of these pardons, so I'm not agreeing to them at this point. He's not going to do that. I don't think those people had the full authority. I think a lot of pardons were issued without any authority. They just did it. Preemptive pardons, in my opinion, are just a sign of guilt. But, Donald Trump's going to have to use preemptive pardons. But Donald Trump doesn't use the auto pen. I'm not saying there's
He does for some things. Yes, he does.
I think for really minor stuff, though, right? Not really anything important. I mean, you see how many times he's signing documents.
No, I think the important stuff he signs, but, like the other things. But I don't. He doesn't give free reign to just go and sign anything. So
Yeah.
I mean, hey, look, the past administration people weren't working in there. They used and abused a disabled man, especially mentally disabled, and did what they wanted. So there should be consequences. We know they did it. I mean, look, once again, we're back to our FBI and DOJ to do something, right? I don't. Who knows? I mean, look, Cash went on. Was yesterday? He said more arrests are coming. We'll see. We shall see, because we're going into May in a couple of days. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, no, our Congress. I said it this morning on the crypto show. They go on break Memorial Day weekend, so they have to. So you think they're going to get the SAVE Act passed by then? Because if they don't get, what's his name confirmed for the Fed chair? Was it Hirsch? I can't even remember his name right now. Hirsch. Then that's going to forget it. They have to get it done. He just got the committee just voted him, so now he's going to go for the full Senate, and that has to be done by April 15th. If not, then Fed Chair Powell says he's going to be there for another 2 years. Can you imagine? It's crazy.
Do you think they're going to do that intentionally? Do you think that's part of the plan?
Well, they're moving now, so I mean, they're going to have 2 weeks. But what's up with this? That, then what about the SAVE Act? Forget it. I mean, Save America Act, I should say. I guess they don't want to save America. Right?
Well, clearly, John Thune doesn't want to save America. He doesn't have any interest in doing anything. He's awful.
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically just, acted like he can't get anything done, which he can't. I don't, listen, that's the problem when you have an awful Congress on both sides of the aisles, when you have a bunch of ineffective, lazy, and stupid individuals, which is what we appear to have, because I don't see anything getting done. It's one of the most ineffective Congresses we've ever had historically. Okay, well, let's talk about this arrest. 78-year-old David Moran.
Well, he hasn't gotten arrested yet. He's got indicted.
Well, were they allowing him a self-surrender, or what? Is this guy getting some privileged behavior? Because, of course, when you guys get indicted, it is almost non-existent when a citizen gets self-surrender. So he's been indicted. He's a senior advisor. Dr. Anthony Fauci was charged with these crimes: conspiracy against the United States, destruction, altercation, and falsification of records in federal investigations,
hold on,
concealment, removal, or mutilation of records, and aiding and abetting.
So this actually happened. I'm shocked that the Maryland federal court did this. But there's also on there, they list 2 unnamed co-conspirators who concealed, removed, and destroyed and caused the concealment and removal of federal records to evade FOIA. You believe that? So why would they unname them? Why not put their names on there?
I have no idea.
Right? I don't know. I want to see who's going to start flipping. Somebody's got to start flipping. 78-year-old dude, you don't want to go start prison now. It's not a good time in your life to start doing a prison sentence. So, he's going to flip. Throw Fauci under the bus. But, I mean, they'll probably give him a chance to self-surrender, knowing the way they are.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting, the 2 co-conspirators, it's that those haven't been unsealed yet. The question is, of course, this guy's 78. Of course, he's going to want to flip. Anything for him could be a life sentence, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. I mean, based on what they described there, I would bet that's easily a 10-year sentence of what they just described. I don't think a guy at this age, at 78 years old, wants to do 10 years.
Wow.
In the Fed, you're going to do 90% of the sentence, so he's going to want to cooperate, try to cut a deal.
Starting a prison sentence at 78 years old, we'll say 79 by the time everything goes to court and all that crap, but, health-wise, it's not going to be very good for his health. No, not starting that. At least if you're there, you're a little younger, you get used to it and stuff probably, but nah, he's done.
Yeah, and you talk about, one of the things, you guys know he served as a senior advisor, and it was interesting that he conducted, of course, official business from his government business, from a private email account. which he wasn't supposed to do for government business. And then he asked the National Institute of Health, the NIH, FOIA liaison for tips on how to evade records requests. And that's according to the communications first exposed by the New York Post in 2024. Now listen to this. This is how he words it. There's no worry about FOIA, as I can either send stuff to Tony on his private email or hand it to him at work or at his house, Morens wrote in April 21, 2021 email. He is too smart to let colleagues send him stuff that could cause trouble. Now, 2 months prior to that, he said in February 24 email, I learned from our FOIA lady here how to make emails disappear after I am FOIA'd, but before the search starts. Plus, I deleted most of those earlier emails after sending them to Gmail, he noted. Now, you don't have to delete emails or make emails disappear unless you're guilty of something. Looks like Morens is guilty. And the fact that he seems to acknowledge that, I guess, Fauci had knowledge about all this because he was too smart to worry about it. I mean, pretty interesting in itself. Pretty disgusting. You know, they lied in front of Congress. Let's play the clip.
Here we go.
Top advisor to Dr. Anthony Fauci now facing criminal charges. This over an alleged cover-up involving research into the origins of COVID. Rich Edson on this story. Intriguing, Rich. What you find out there in Washington?
Now, it is, Bill. The Justice Department has charged David Morens, a doctor, with conspiracy, claiming he concealed federal records to counter evidence that COVID-19 may have leaked from a lab in China, all to help restore a controversial coronavirus grant. Morens, a former aide to Dr. Anthony Fauci, testified before the House's COVID Select Subcommittee nearly 2 years ago about emails he'd sent in February 2021, claiming that he'd learned to make emails disappear after he received Freedom of Information Act requests.
Ever delete or attempt to delete a federal record?
No, but let me explain why. When I came there in 1998, we were instructed to delete emails or to move them into PST files frequently because they jammed the computer.
The Justice Department says Morens used his personal Gmail account to exchange non-public information. The indictment also claims an unnamed co-conspirator gave Morens wine for his, quote, behind-the-scenes shenanigans, then suggested he could push scientific commentary in a prominent medical journal advocating that COVID-19 had natural origins. That's a competing claim with the lab leak theory. The indictment says the co-conspirator could also provide meals at top restaurants in Paris, New York, and Washington, D.C. In April 2020, the NIH terminated that back coronavirus grant awarded to EcoHealth Alliance, who then contracted the Wuhan Institute of Virology to conduct that research in China. From the start of the pandemic, its president, Peter Daszak, worked to discredit any theory that COVID-19 had leaked from that lab.
Okay.
Bill?
All right. Thank you, Rich. More to come. Rich Edson on that story from Washington, D.C. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the word theory is a bullshit word in this case. Everybody knows it leaked from the lab, you know, at this point. But it's interesting how they all conspired. They were all trying to push any kind of a theory forward that didn't admit the truth. That's not what you do to protect people, right? If it's a true pandemic, that's not how you do it. It's not why you would do it. You would think that they would all want to put the truth out. It didn't affect them directly. It was all part of an agenda. And Anthony Fauci is just as guilty as the rest of them. I hope he faces consequences at his age, and I hope they don't give him a deal. I hope they say no deal, no plea deal, nothing. We're not going to give you anything. Tell the truth, or we're going to double your sentence. Then you got a chance of getting out and spending time. With
someone said won't stick anyway. That case is shaky on constitutional basis. I don't know if you're talking about this case or the one we're about to talk to, but if you're talking about the Morens case, no, it doesn't fall. It's not shaky or won't fall on the constitutional basis because you're not supposed to be using regular emails for government job. You're not supposed to hide information. Not supposed to try to deceive FOIA requests and yada yada yada. But the next one now.
Well, before you do that, though, let me just say this. The Constitution, you know, has protections in it, of course. Equal application of the law, equal protection on the law. But when you start talking about conspiracy against the United States, Constitution's not going to help you. And you start talking about destruction, altercation, or falsification of records or evidence, that's considered obstruction of justice. I don't know if they charged him for Title 18, 241, or 242, but it's clear. If there's a federal investigation going on, you can't conceal or remove or mutilate or destroy. You can't aid and abet others in that method. And he committed a crime the minute he started asking questions about hiding information from FOIA, the Federal Information, Act, Freedom of Information Act, by intentionally conspiring to hide evidence when you're being requested to submit it. That's a federal crime. Constitution is not going to help you with that.
Okay, they were referring to the Comey case, but now this Comey case, I do agree with Rat Dog on this one. You know, I'm surprised they even got the indictment for this, because this is about, remember when he did that Instagram post with the she shells?
Yeah.
86, 45 or whatever it was. That's what he got indicted on.
Yeah. Not enough. He should be indicted for a lot of
But they actually put out an arrest warrant this time for him, which is shocking.
And what was the specific charge? Does anybody understand? Because I'm not really clear on what they've charged him for. I understand what he did. He shouldn't have done. Pretty unnerving to put out seashells that have a code to kill Donald Trump.
What's fun? Well, it's interesting with Comey. It says,
"Hey George, maybe tell the audience about the seashell thing, what it was exactly." Because
I just did, bro, in the beginning. Yeah, the seashell post on his Instagram saying,
but some people might not know what he
wrote out in seashells 8645, and everybody knows what 86 means. 86, get rid of them, kill them, make them disappear.
Yeah, and he said, "Cool shell formation on my beach walk."
Ugh.
So that was just the caption for his post.
What they're saying on this indictment is the charges are not really clear yet, what they're doing, which is interesting. But the U.S. Marshals has been ordered by a federal judge, and this is in North Carolina now, to take James Comey into custody.
You have a clip for this, huh?
Yeah, and actually CNN's talking about it, which is...
shocker.
I know. Ready?
We do. I'm looking at this docket, Casey, as the prosecutors are putting different things in there. And there's an arrest warrant that is in the docket for James Comey. I was able to see it through the court's system, and it says that the marshals are being asked to both provide Comey with the indictment, and they are issuing an arrest warrant. We don't know what that means, but I will say, as far as the docket goes, it's a very different thing than how this played out in the Eastern District of Virginia when Comey was indicted there on the perjury count. A summons was issued instead, so that would be a direct missive to Comey to say it's time to appear in court to face this charge on said day. That's a bit of a different thing. But Casey, this is a very fluid situation given that we are just getting court documents in one at a time. I am able to see the warrant request from the Justice Department potentially escalating things in a way that they hadn't with the Eastern District of Virginia perjury case previously against Comey that was dismissed. But I'm going to keep watching here to see how else this plays out.
Caitlin, can
I mean, so you think because the indictment came out of North Carolina, right? I don't even know if he was on a beach in North Carolina at that time. But if it's if it's just for that, I'm surprised he did get indicted for that. Because you can use like freedom of speech and you know the way it works to get indictment. I don't know. Maybe there's more they got. Maybe this is a good way to pressure Comey, you know, to start cooperating, because you know they got that federal grand jury with all them subpoenas in Southern Florida federal district. So yeah, I don't know.
This guy, I've never heard of him before. U.S. Attorney Boyle, he's leading the prosecution of James Comey in North Carolina. So number one, my hat's off to you. It's nice to have a prosecutor that's trying to get something.
I want to know where he was last time.
Yeah, no kidding. And look, maybe they're trying to put leverage, because what he said here, he said Comey gets zero special treatment, no deep state protection, no sweetheart deals. Everybody says the Comey mugshots incoming. Let's play the clip, because finally, I got to say this. It's so unusual to have a DOJ prosecutor that appears to want to uphold the law evenly, right? Equal application of the law. And my hat's off to him. I'm sure he's getting a lot of pressure from other people. Hopefully he can go the distance. If so, he's got a bright future. We want to see him make lots of arrests. We want to see the superseding indictments against James Comey. That's what all of us want to see. We want to see the real charges. Because, of course, with it, they all conspired to overthrow a sitting president. They screwed us on the election. They screwed the American people. I think it's seditious conspiracy, but we'll see. Let's play the clip.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney General. Earlier today, a grand jury in the Eastern District of North Carolina returned a true bill indicting Mr. James Comey with committing 2 felonies. Count 1, he knowingly and willfully made a threat to kill and to inflict bodily harm upon the President of the United States in violation of 18 U.S.C. 871A. Count 2, he knowingly and willfully transmitted in interstate and foreign commerce a communication that contained a threat to kill President Trump in violation of 18 U.S.C. 875C. Mr. Comey will be given every form of due process all citizens are entitled to receive, to include a trial by a jury of his peers. In the Eastern District of North Carolina, it doesn't matter who you are. We take all threat cases seriously and prosecute anyone who violates federal law, regardless of title or status. Thank you.
So that is the crime that they've gone after him for is called transmitting and communication containing a threat to kidnap or injure. That's what 875C is, assuming I've got the right one. Look, it's a start. I'll take it. I'll take it over what Pam Bondi did.
Lance is kind of happy about. Oh my God, this is a
listen.
This is a historic moment, everybody.
Todd Blanche is already so far ahead of Pam Bondi, and he's only been in there for a week.
Take that clip, short form of Lance saying that, and send it out everywhere.
It's a shocker. I know. It is a shocker.
Smug Comey. Listen, it's all right. Smug Comey says I'm innocent. Okay.
Shut the F up.
Innocent my ass. But Lance, I want to get to this story before we go to break, because this story just broke this morning, and it's kind of big.
Okay, go.
The Supreme Court has just ruled that drawing congressional districts based on race under the Voting Rights Act is unconstitutional, and they ruled 6-3 ruling. Now, if you don't understand what's going on, that is huge, massive, unbelievable win. Because, Democrats, for years they have sued over and over to 4 states like Louisiana to create black majority districts. Well, guess what? Well, there's a lot more states now that could change their districts and get rid of that race-based ruling districts there. That could mean
Louisiana's map that's going to be thrown out. It looks like their whole map's based on that, isn't it?
Well, that was Louisiana that took that to SCOTUS.
So what about all the states that are now in violation of law?
Well,
how many states do you have any idea?
No, that pertains to
dozens of Democrat districts that have done that, right?
You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 states.
Oof.
At least.
And those will flip red overnight. That's the problem. That's a big problem for the Democrats. They're not going to have much success with that.
Yeah.
Now that the Supreme Court. Now the question is, are they going to ignore the Supreme Court ruling? Like normally, when the Supreme Court rules in their favor, in the Democrats' favor, it's like, oh yeah, we've got to do this. And the minute it goes against them, they're like, what? We didn't hear that. What are you talking about? I don't know. Oh, let me cover my ears, my mouth, and my eye. I don't know what you're saying.
I'm just curious if they can get this done before the 2026 midterms. I don't know how that could possibly go through. We'll find out. This is going to be.
I don't know how they can fight it.
This is going to be. They can't fight it. It's a SCOTUS ruling. That's it. It's over. Done. There's nothing to fight.
Yeah. Tricky stuff. Let's play the clip.
Okay, let's play it.
Good morning. Okay, so this at first blush here is a win for the plaintiffs who were not black plaintiffs. They were non-minority voters who challenged this decision. These two districts that were minority majority, essentially Louisiana had drawn up districts and then they were told in a legal battle that they had not represented black and minority voters sufficiently. They went back and drew a second district. So they had two of these minority majority districts. Well, then non-black voters sued and said, this is now violating our rights on the basis of race. So it looks like this is a 6-3 decision. There is one concurrence here, but it looks like the dissent sticks together with Justices Kagan, Sotomayor, and Jackson. But here's what the majority says. They say in some, because the Voting Rights Act did not require Louisiana to create an additional majority-minority district, no compelling interest justified the state's use of race in creating SB 8. That was those two new districts. That map is an unconstitutional gerrymander, and its use would violate the plaintiff's constitutional rights. Now, this opinion is almost 100 pages long, so we're going through to see if it says something more broadly about the Voting Rights Act. That had been the fear on the left, that somehow this decision, if it was favorable for those challenging these maps, that it would somehow do a big chunk out of the Voting Rights Act. Haven't gotten to language that suggests that yet. It sounds like this decision is primarily about what happened in Louisiana. So we'll keep digging through this, but for right now, it's a win for those who were challenging these two minority-majority districts. Now, as we read through this and figure out the broader implications, there were 20-plus districts across the country that would have potentially lined up with this decision. They could be open to challenges that they were drawn on the basis of race, or that it was the primary factor that was used in drawing those districts. Most of those are throughout the South. So we'll look to see if there's enough sweeping language in this particular decision that may have a domino effect on some 20 other districts. Could be huge for the midterms. We'll continue to read through.
You got
it.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's going to be big news.
That's big. I wonder how many votes that covers. That's painful for the Democrats. They're not going to be happy about that. Of course, they've already got a plan in full swing to cheat. So, as always, they've got plan A, B, and C, right? And, we never have all that stuff. So hopefully this is where we're heading. We're going to get the rest of this and, hopefully we'll get that win and we'll get a couple more wins and maybe we'll have some sort of a chance. But of course, the arrests will be the biggest win. Start arresting all those deep staters and you'll have a lot more success for the midterms. All right, listen, we've got to take a short break here on the Big Mig Show. I'll be right back with George Valentin, Lance Migliaccio. Massive FBI raids in Minneapolis. You asked for them, you got them. Let's go. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Yeah, don't go nowhere. It's hump day, man.
Are you ready to stand up for your community and support your local sheriff? Join the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association and become a vital member of the Sheriff's Citizens Posse. At CSPOA.org, we empower citizens like you through weekly webinars, arming you with the knowledge to back your constitutional county sheriff. Together, we can uphold our Constitution and ensure liberty and justice for all. Your community needs you now more than ever. Visit CSPOA.org and join the Sheriff's Citizens Posse today. Make a difference. Stand for freedom. That's CSPOA.org. Your country, your fight, your future.
What if you could predict your financial future? And what if you could trade on it? Introducing Block Trust IRA, the future in your hands. An astonishing 88,000 millionaires were created last year from the Bitcoin boom, and you could be next. Block Trust IRA is the only crypto management firm powered by AI-driven strategies, ranked #1 in the world by Bitcoin Magazine. The Block Trust IRA platform is built for everyone, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Predictive AI technology that was once only reserved for insiders and elites is now available to you. It's time to leave the old buy and hold strategies behind. Your assets are protected with military-grade security, offline cold storage, and $200 million in insurance. Visit BlockTrustIRA.com to book your free consultation and ask how to claim up to $2,500 in deposit bonuses today. Bitcoin changed the game. AI changes the strategy.
Hi folks, I'm here today to introduce you to the Prepper Bar from PrepperBar.com, the most unique precious metals product we have seen in a long time. These 62-gram bars are perforated and easily broken down into your choice of 3 different sizes to fit a multitude of needs. Whether it be from asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil, or its unique utility for barter and trade, the Prepper Bar makes a perfect gift for all the precious metal lovers out there. Exclusively made here in the USA and selling out fast. Available in both gold and silver, these slim Prepper Bars fit neatly in your wallet, and their utility enables use in any situation.
Forged through rigorous training and honed by the finest instructors on Earth, these canine units serve beside our nation's warriors as they fight to preserve what we cherish. When these warriors complete their duty, the Warrior Dog Foundation provides them with a home deserving of the service they've given us all. At our state-of-the-art kennels, they receive rehabilitation and care suitable for heroes, because that's what they are. Be a part of giving them a future today. Visit warriordogfoundation.org.
All right, welcome back to the Big Mig Show. Here with your host, Lance Migliaccio. He's finally here with us today. He didn't make this morning because I said, sleep in. I know you're still sick, working it off. Don't worry, I got this. And George Ballantine, but that's what we do. We cover for each other. That's how it should be, right, people? Family. Gotta take care. It's my brother. Brother from another mother, but the same father. But listen, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, the like button, the follow, share. Hit something. Come on. Do it. And you want to hit that subscribe button? We truly appreciate you even more. You get much love from me. I even give you a kiss. Matter of fact, I might have to do some kind of date thing. I'll take you out on a date. Whoever becomes a 50th subscriber. Yep.
Hopefully it's not a guy.
I was just going to say, it can't be a guy. But if a guy, listen, if they want to just go out for drinks or beer or dinner, I'll take a guy.
If George does do that dating game contest, you do not get to enter and win a date.
Nah, you can't.
There's only 2 pronouns, 2 genders, and that's it. And not 2
No, you know what? If it's a guy, then I'll take the guy and his wife or girlfriend, out to dinner. Why not?
Yeah.
I can't discriminate.
And no guys acting like they're women. We're not going to have any faking it for George.
Yeah.
I'm going to defend him on this. We're not going to let that happen.
I need proof.
All right.
Not going to happen.
Yeah.
All right, so check it out now. Check it out. Minnesota, the FBI, finally, they freaking doing something, Lance. I know you've been sick. I don't know how much you've been keeping up, but they did massive raids yesterday in Minneapolis. Like 22 places got raided. And you know what the kicker is? The freaking Tampon Tim, the governor, tried taking credit saying, they informed the feds.
Please.
He did that, even because Kash Patel had to reply to him.
Shit. Tampon Tim has been doing everything to push back. Ilhan Omar has been everybody's pushing back. Now, my only real question, they've got all these people that are indicted. And of course, finally, the Quality Leering Center.
I was going to say that. Yep. They got them.
The Quality Leering Center has already been shut down. The question is, how many of these Somalians, this is what I want to know.
Was it shut down? Did they shut it down?
Yeah, it was already shut down. Yeah. Oh. How many of these people fled the country already with the money? How many of them had those briefcases full of cash that they've been taken to the Minneapolis airport nonstop? I'd like to know how many of these people they weren't able to get in this dragnet because they already left the country. Because let me just say something to you. Somalian clans, do not underestimate that if they put enough pressure on these Somalians, they all know each other in these clans. That's how they operate. They operate in clans, like these big family extended clans. They should get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of arrests if they put enough pressure on these people. Don't cut any deals. Don't offer plea deals out of the gate. Don't try to speed up the system. Pressure them. Hit them with massive sentences and claw back all the money. Listen, this is the awful part about Medicare and Medicaid fraud, especially for people that have older parents, or people that have children or family with disabilities. They're getting screwed because this money getting stolen could be, providing better services for your family members. My mom's 93. She needs good healthcare services from, Medicare and Medicaid. She needs it.
I wonder when they're going to start raiding California's places now and Ohio.
Are they? Or is it already announced?
I don't know. They should. Why not? I mean, look at the fraud that they found there. And where else? Was it New Hampshire? I think another one. Yeah. I mean, you probably go state to state. Get rid of all of them. Unc's camera is wigging out a bit. Yeah, I don't know. That's you, bro.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what it's doing. Can't do anything.
Real rat dog, Unc doesn't want to listen to me about things like that. You know how that goes, right? She knows. All right, should we play the clip?
Yeah, let's play the clip.
Inside joke, people.
Large-scale raids targeting federal fraud currently underway. Federal agents seen leaving the Quality Learning Center. And Brooke Taylor has more on that and what they're looking for. Brooke, good morning.
Hi, Bill. Good morning. Yeah, we have had a photographer there at the daycare since this morning, capturing video of those federal agents just going in and out of the building, collecting evidence as part of the DOJ's fraud investigation in Minnesota. Take a look at this video here. Sources tell Fox that federal agents are raiding about 22 businesses across Minneapolis this morning, and sources say many of them are tied to Somali-owned operations. All of this comes after that viral YouTube video from Nick Shirley. It was back in December. In that video, he visited different child care centers, and you'll remember they were either closed or there were just no children inside, despite receiving state child care funding. Now, the location that you're looking at right now, it's the Quality Learning Center. This is the daycare. It went viral. It blew up on social media because of a sign outside with learning that was literally misspelled. The Education Secretary at the time claimed that the daycare received $1.9 million while, quote, masquerading as a daycare. And then shortly after that, the Trump administration announced it was freezing child care funding to Minnesota and calling for a full audit of certain daycare centers. And just checking my emails now, it looks like we got a statement from DHS sharing, quote, Homeland Security investigations in cooperation with our law enforcement partners executed criminal search warrants in Minneapolis relating to the rampant fraud of U.S. taxpayers' dollars. And as you could see there, federal agents still outside one of those daycare centers where they have been the last few hours.
The only thing what sucks, well, it's good, but what sucks is they gave them enough time to shred or burn records, right?
Oh my God, can you imagine?
I'm thinking about it right now. Fucking, I don't know. Oh, listen, they shouldn't have let anybody get out of the country, especially with bags of money. Will they ever pay the ones that got away? I don't know. Maybe we'll make a deal with the Somalian government. We need to get these guys. Lance, is there extradition from Somalia?
Yeah, well, let me put it this way. There is extradition from Somalia, but it won't be easy locating them. It's not like the on-ground forces in Somalia, the investigative forces. The truth of the matter is they need to go up to the bank accounts. They need to track the money. They need to track the crypto accounts. And they need to dead stop all the cash going through the airport. What they need is to have their own law enforcement, because I guarantee you after this, anybody that wasn't arrested or indicted already, they're scrambling. They're all going to be leaving. They're all going to be moving. They're all going to be liquidating assets, selling their houses, selling their cars, and they're going to move all that money out of the country. What they should be doing is working with all the banks in Minneapolis and saying that no money is allowed to be moved to Somalia, put a complete restriction on it.
You can't just do Somalia because they can always do some other bank account. You know how they go to.
Again, they ought to start squashing.
But listen,
and of course, the cash being taken out of the airport. We heard about these big suitcases full of cash.
Yeah.
First of all, that's not even supposed to be allowed, let alone the Minneapolis airport, they allowed it. And the truth of the matter is the law says you can't do that. You can have proper paperwork, but that is a massive amount of money they've been taking out of the country. So if they really want to get smart, I'll say this to the FBI, put a restriction on all money and start tracking all the wallets. Find all the wallets related to these people, all the crypto wallets. You guys know that you have the ability to do that. crypto is not as clandestine as everybody thinks, and start stopping the money and claw back the money. Start seizing the money that's been transferred out of the country through bank accounts, been sent out. Start clawing it back now. Cut off their money, because these people are going to be scrambling like a bunch of rats.
All right. Well, I have a solution. If you said that, it's hard to find them in Somalia, well, our government can give a reward to information leading to the arrest and capture of some of these people. Them Somalians, they need money. They ain't doing too good. What? There's a reward? Yeah. You know how that works. But look, it'll work. If we want them, we can get them. Right? If they can find anybody, they can find them. But we have another huge, another win. And you know what? It's just pretty when you get these wins. The Virginia Supreme Court officially denied Democrats' move to reinstate their 10D 1R congressional map, which is refusing to pause the lower court order, which blocks certification. So it's great. Now, Virginia cannot try to do their map. They won't, as of right now, they won't get those extra 4 seats. That's a huge win for us. Let's hope it just stays like that. But, DeSantis is, he's in the midst of changing their maps where we'll get another 4 or 5 Republicans. So, Lance, you know what? We're getting wins from courts because, you know what? Democrats, they just always want to try to do illegal shit and get away with it.
Oh, yeah.
And not this time. Not that time. We're done with that. We got to just keep calling these bastards out and exposing them. Their language was not good. I got a clip. I'm going to play that because this is another good one.
Breaking tonight, a circuit court in Virginia ruled a short time ago, within the past 2 hours, that the redistricting referendum passed by voters yesterday is unconstitutional. The judge is now blocking certification of the election and denying a motion to stay pending appeal. Virginia's Democratic Attorney General responding by posting that he plans to appeal that. Correspondent Mark Meredith has.
Brett, good evening to you. Plenty of new drama here in the Commonwealth tonight. Republicans are challenging the legality of yesterday's ballot measure. They have asked a judge to throw out the case, essentially to wait for it to happen. An injunction was issued. The judge agreeing. Democrats, as you mentioned, say they are going to appeal, that there's no merit to this case, that they believe this is an attempt to override the will of the voters. Either way, Brett, this is creating a lot more chaos ahead of November's midterms.
Donald Trump and Republicans launch this gerrymandering war. We're going to finish it.
Tonight, Democrats are claiming victory after Virginia voters narrowly approved a referendum giving state lawmakers power to redraw congressional maps this year, likely shrinking Republican representation from 5 House districts to 1.
It's a hyper-partisan gerrymandering boondoggle.
Critics accuse Virginia's Democratic governor, Abigail Spanberger, of flip-flopping after previously calling gerrymandering detrimental to democracy. She says it's now justified after Texas redrew its maps.
We want to respond to what we see other states doing at the request of this president.
Republicans say the fight's not over. The state Supreme Court has yet to rule if the referendum was legal to begin with.
We believe we have a very strong case before the state Supreme Court.
Today, President Trump, without proof, said the race was rigged, adding, "Let's see if the courts will fix this travesty of justice." Multiple states have already redrawn maps this year. Republicans say they've likely increased the majority by 3 to 5 seats in Texas. Democrats say the same in California. Both parties making smaller gains in Utah, North Carolina, and Ohio, with Democrats now holding to a 2 to 4 seat gain overall. Next up, Florida, where a proposal meant to gain Republican seats may be unveiled as soon as next week. Top Democrats are vowing to spend millions to fight back. Today, Governor Ron DeSantis said, "Bring it on."
Please be my guest. I will pay for you to come down to Florida and campaign. I'll put you up in the Florida governor's mansion.
Other states are also looking at redistricting, including Louisiana and Missouri, but some court cases have slowed down the process, and the states are also eagerly awaiting a ruling from the Supreme Court when it comes to the Voting Rights Act, which could limit the role race plays when it comes to drawing new voting maps. Brett.
Mark Meredith, live in Alexandria. Mark, thank you. President.
So, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, Democrat, has been very vocal and very upset. And actually, after what we just witnessed Saturday at the White House Correspondents' Dinner with another assassination attempt on Trump, Hakeem Jeffries is going on air calling for I'm quoting, calling for maximum warfare against the GOP. You know how deranged those liberals are. They're like, oh, he's calling for warfare? Okay, they'll take it in the wrong context because they're stupid.
Hakeem Jeffries is stupid.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, his fat mouth always overloads his ass. You know what I mean? I think we need a new constitutional amendment that you can challenge any member of Congress for opening up their fat mouth to a challenge in the octagon. I think we need a new constitutional amendment that says that if a congressional member oversteps and overloads his ass with his mouth, the American people, any individual, can challenge them to a octagon match. I'd love to face off with Hakeem Jeffries in the octagon for the American people. Because if anybody deserves it, he does. We need a new executive order.
Lance, I don't want you to go down for murder, bro.
Well, if he signs the document in the UFC, it doesn't matter. Anything can happen in there. At the end of the day, he has to sign the release. But I'm tired of Hakeem Jeffries. He's got a fat mouth, as do many other congressional
I'm going to put some of my girl mods against him.
They've always got something snappy to say. I'm sure we've got some of the tough girls in the Big Mig audience that would love to challenge Nancy Pelosi. How about a slap? How about power slap? How about, listen, we won't take him in the UFC ring. We just get to go in and give him a power slap. We need an executive order on that. All right, listen, we told you there's scams everywhere. It doesn't matter. Lots of people need help with SNAP. SNAP data reveals 14,000 recipients that they've already identified. This doesn't mean all of them. This just means one group own luxury cars in just one state. Now listen to this list of luxury cars, George. Teslas, they own 2,098 of them. These are people that say, oh, I'm not doing well and I need SNAP benefits. 306 Land Rovers, 244 Alfa Romeos, 141 Porsches, 59 Maseratis, 11 Lamborghinis, 3 Ferraris, and 3 Bentleys. Now, if that's not evidence of scamming and gaming the system, I don't know what is. Now there's going to be, of course, the Trump administration and many Democrat states are pushing back. They want clear transparency and full data sharing. And those rules were supposed to be in place since February 2025. There's many states that aren't complying. 29 Republican-led states followed, helping drop SNAP enrollment by 4.3 million Americans, hopefully being able to help other Americans that need SNAP help. But of course, the conservatives, are very unhappy about the taxpayer ripoffs. But of course, the critics, the Democrats and others, they like to point out on this immediately. They said, well, Teslas aren't always luxury. Now, if you need SNAP benefits, you tell me how having a Tesla isn't considered a luxury. There's lots of cheaper cars out there. I don't understand why a Tesla is all of a sudden. I know they've got inexpensive Teslas. They're just coming out with that new Tesla, and it's a very inexpensive EV, really cool car. I think it's under $25,000 or something. But that's not really the point. The people that need SNAP benefits, most of them don't have cars. And if they do have cars, they usually have older cars.
The Model 3 is like 36 and change to 38 and change.
Okay, if you can afford 36 or 38 and change, since when do you need SNAP benefits? Because that payment is going to be what, George? $400 or $500, $600 a month, depending on the term.
Listen, if there's people that are working that do get SNAP because they're not making enough or whatever it is. So I don't know if you have a car at that price, that doesn't bother me if you're using SNAP for temporary whatever. There's a lot of single mothers that are struggling that could at least they're out there working, so they might need a little helping hand here and there. So. Yeah,
but the people when you go Maseratis, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and Bentleys.
No. I said about the cheaper Tesla, but I'm not talking about the other. The other stuff is egregious.
Ridiculous. All right, let's play the clip.
Crazy.
Sharing. Previously, no data was shared. We had no idea where the taxpayer dollars were spent. Just one red state, the recent dump of data, we found SNAP recipients had more than 2,000 Tesla owners, 200 Alfa Romeo owners, more than 144 that were receiving food stamps were driving Porsches. Again, this is the data dumps we're getting because before we had no accountability on any of these programs. We now are requiring accountability. The blue states are suing us. They don't want to share the data. And can you imagine, this was a red state where there is actually some taxpayer accountability. Imagine what's happening in the blue states if that's happening in the red states.
That's why states don't want to give up their data. They don't want to get busted. Well, when it comes to federal stuff, they should have to give it up. There shouldn't be a choice. All right, this is the next big
story
move.
is huge.
It is huge. It is because the UAE, United Arab Emirates, announced yesterday that they're withdrawing from OPEC. And this comes after more than 50 years, and it's supposed to take effect May 1st. Huge, because look, OPEC, they're always manipulating the price of oil, making us pay higher prices. Trump has been saying it for a while. I hope Trump gets out of OPEC too. Get us out. Why do we need to use their stuff? We have enough oil in this country to supply us and give it to us at a cheaper price, man. Why do we got to buy it from anywhere else? Somebody help me make sense of that. They'll say, "Oh, our oil's different, needs to be refined more, this and that." So what? Tell me it's not going to be cheaper? Freaking, the price of gas by me just for regular went up a little over $4 now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's high $3 here. And of course, a lot of that's part of that pump less agreements where they restrict the flow, restrict availability. And of course, this is hitting right in the middle of the Iran war. I think this is a major, major precedent. I wouldn't be surprised to see other countries walk right out the door. Of course, I don't blame them for not wanting to be part of OPEC. It's just another cartel. But listen, the UAE was a major part of OPEC. With them out of the picture, I wonder if the U.S. will be next, George. What do you think?
Seeing the way Trump operates, you would think he would, because he's a businessman, this and that.
But OPEC's always been inflating the prices, ripping off the rest of the world.
UAE was
fabulous.
Hold on.
You've seen the fabulous amount of wealth, produced for the leadership in these countries. Crazy amounts of money because they're price fixing. Everybody wants to tell you that oil is in short supply, and it's not. It's an abundant supply. It renews itself. A lot of people act like it's some exclusive item. It's just like the diamond market. The beers always inflated the diamond market. My wife knows an awful lot about it, and she talked about how that they would control the diamond market. That's falling apart because lab-created diamonds are so amazing now. They're like real diamonds. They have the same quality, same appearance. It was always a scam. I don't think oil's any different.
What's always a scam?
Diamonds.
Oh, I mean, lab-grown diamonds it's a diamond. It's just grown in a lab. They're expediting the process. They take when you cut.
I'm not saying lab-grown diamonds are.
No, I know. I'm just like I know.
The controlled market of De Beers.
How they make a lab-grown diamond is when they cut a diamond, you have that dust. They take that, and that's how they allow it to do it. I mean, it's still a diamond. They're just expediting the process with the machines. Yeah, how they compress a lump of coal is supposed to be or something.
I've seen some lab-grown diamonds. They look believable to me. I don't think that the average person, even the testers, are tricked by them when they test them with diamond testers.
No, because it's a real diamond still. It's just they cut glass. So there you go. Yeah.
So I think always that shortage thing is the way they get you. Oh, there's a limited amount of oil. That's why the prices have to go up. Oh, the Strait of Hormuz is shut down. Oh, all the prices go up. Every time they react to the oil market way before it ever impacts, because most of the oil, even the oil here in the United States, we only get 2 to 3% from OPEC or the Middle East. Can you imagine? 2 to 3%. Think about it. Why have the prices jumped at the pumps? Because the oil industrial complex is screwing you, the American public. They react immediately with any kind of oh my God, we're gonna have to raise the price. It's just extra profit. If you don't believe me, just watch this quarter's profit, watch last quarter, and watch the reporting when it comes in from the big oil industry, how their profit has gone way up. If their costs were way up, why would their profit go up so much? It's because they're lying and cheating the American public. They're doing it to us at the pumps. I'd love to see some oil company walk away from the rest of the ones and say, hey, we're going to give fair pricing no matter what. Screw the news. We only get 2 to 3% of our oil from out of the country. We don't care. We're going to give you guys fair prices. That company would have everybody lining up at the pumps. So that's what they do, Skip. All right.
Lance, take people's joy away. Go ahead. Take it away.
Yeah.
I want no part of this.
George loves to give me the stories that he thinks are unjoyful. He always tries to spoon them to me. But George, this story might impact you. Chips, candy, and soda lead to dementia. It looks like dementia risks rise with common food types that millions upon millions of Americans eat every day. Even a 10% increase in ultra-processed food intake is tied to cognitive effects, cognitive decline. So everybody knows that ultra-processed foods are not really great for your overall health, but who doesn't like a bag of chips, a couple of this, a couple of that. Who doesn't like processed meat sandwiches, right? But it's hard. Looks like the study published in the Journal of Alzheimer's and Dementia. Again, this is not medical information. This is news information for everybody out there. You should check with your own medical experts. But the Alzheimer's Association came out with this, revealed that UPFs, ultra-processed foods, are linked to more than 30 adverse health outcomes, including several dementia risk factors like cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and obesity. But researchers from Australia's Monash University analyzed more than 2,000 dementia-free Australian adults between the ages of 40 and 70, comparing their diets to cognitive function. They found that each 10% increase in UPF intake was associated with lower attention scores and higher dementia risk, regardless of whether the adults typically followed a healthy diet like the Mediterranean diet, which has been proven to be one of the healthiest diet when it comes to your brain. UPF consumption affected them at very, very disturbing numbers. So what do you think, America? Are you going to cut back? Because, of course, ultra-processed foods, we know that our food supply is under attack, GMO foods and otherwise. It's hard enough. They're telling people, listen, if you want to reduce inflammation, if you want to reduce insulin resistance, poor blood flow, and oxidative stress, those are all bad for the brain. They all add to the plaque that builds up in your brain for dementia. Looks like you better cut back on the ultra-processed food.
I mean,
George,
everything in the freaking
cookies, candies, cake.
Dude, everything's ultra-processed. Bacon, everything in the store. It's crazy. You know, I was at the supermarket the other day, and you know, at the end of the aisle, sometimes they'll put big displays, and it was the chips and stuff. And I looked, I'm like, you know, cheese doodles?
Yeah.
You know, you eat them, you get the orange crap in your hands. Well, they took that diet, they took that out. Now they're just like no more, they're no color.
Yeah, they offer a version. They've been doing that for months. I actually saw that. They offer a version, but the problem is, even though they may claim that the foods, you know,
well, it's just one thing they got rid of the dye and stuff, but
yeah, but they like to say sugar-free, low carb. You're right. They took away the dyes. You're right. That's one thing that shouldn't be in there. Why do you need the food to be dyed? To make it more eyeball friendly? If a cheese doodle tastes good, you're going to eat it. But, you know, it doesn't really help if they say sugar-free, low-carb, keto-friendly. Ultra-processing destroys the natural structure of foods, and that's the problem. So they're recommending building meals around colorful vegetables and fruits, clean proteins, healthy fats, nuts, seeds, and high-fiber carbohydrates. But, you know, not everybody loves that stuff. But look, if you don't want to have memory concerns, if you're worried about diabetes or high blood pressure or weight issues, turning to Ozempic and continuing to eat, you know, processed foods isn't going to help you. That's just a cheat workaround. I would tell you that you want to eat healthier. So this is more reason to do so. Now, wait, I got to say this before we start. I'm a little tired of this. I don't know if you heard that Donald Trump is going to put his picture in the United States passport, George. Have you heard about that?
yeah, it's a temporary thing. It's that with the 250-year anniversary. I seen it just a little while ago.
I know, but first of all, we never had a president and a passport. Does everything have to be Trump branded? Is it just me? I'm calling this the Trump effect, and I'm getting a little tired of it. I don't, you know, it seems like every time I turn around, there's another thing that Trump's going to have his face or his name on. I mean, man, listen, dude, you got enough shit named after you. Stop it. And I'm going to say this. Listen, we said the other day that ABC needed to be charged, right? I knew that the minute they went and had that smart alecky, you know, Jimmy Kimmel come out and make that pop at Melania, that I knew something was going to happen. I didn't say it on air, but I was going to predict that Donald Trump is now going to go after ABC because of what they said, what Jimmy Kimmel said to Melania. Now, they're saying that's not the reason. But this is the Trump effect. The FCC is making a huge move against ABC. The agency has ordered reviews of all the licenses of 8 company-owned stations. Now, of course, ABC is a piece of shit. They produce The View. Jimmy Kimmel's a piece of shit. What he said the other day about to Melania, about she has the glow of a wife that's about to have her husband assassinated or something to that effect. That was awful. I thought it was nervy and a shitty thing to do. I think enough's enough. That I don't find that funny. Okay, number one. Jimmy Kimmel's not funny. The View is full of just a bunch of shitty, nasty women. They're shitty and nasty. Awful, awful human beings. The lead, probably the most hated celebrity on the list right now, is Whoopi Goldberg. Now, The licenses weren't due for review until 2028, but I knew he was going to go after him. But how about going after all the people that are responsible for doing things to the American people? How come 60 Minutes? How come some attorney hasn't picked up a major class action against 60 Minutes for how they manipulated the Kamala Harris interview and how that impacted the American people's election knowledge? How about that? And the FCC, this isn't the only one. It shouldn't just be ABC, George. But do you ever notice whenever it directly impacts Trump, oh yeah, it'll happen in a second. His lawsuits happen immediately. Going to change it, put his name on the passports. He wants his name on the bills.
Hold on.
You know,
the passports, it's only a special edition. They're only going to release 25 to 30,000. It's commence 250 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also not only his, but they have the other depiction of, I think, the U.S. soldiers on there too.
Yeah.
So it's a limited edition thing just to celebrate 250-year anniversary of our independence and stuff. It's 25 to 30,000. What's the big deal?
Listen, do a limited edition for the 250th anniversary. But why does Donald Trump have to be on there?
Because he's the president and he's the one that's doing the celebration and everything.
Don't you ever get tired of it?
For that, no. His
I'm
name on
pro-Trump,
some buildings and stuff, maybe.
I'd like to know from the audience. You guys get tired of that at all? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Every time I turn around, I feel like something's getting named after him or something. And the effect of it is, I just rather have good administration.
But you want to know something though? The Democrats been trying to erase his name with impeachments and all that crap. They tried doing it the first time around. You know that if they win the House, they're going to try it. They're going to be doing it again. So once something's out there, you can't take it back like that. Hey, he's on a passport, man.
All right. Does everybody think ABC should get a kick in the balls? I think they should.
The pressure's on for ABC.
Think that ABC should be the only one that gets a kick in the balls? Because I believe there should be a law passed that news has to be free and fair and unbiased. It's okay if you have an opinion on air as a newscaster. You can say, well, this is my opinion. I don't agree with what Donald Trump is doing. If you want to take that position. But when you represent news fraudulently and you manipulate the facts or the evidence or the story to make it appear as though somebody's guilty or somebody did something, you guys think that news should be unbiased, just like I hear on the Big Ming Show? You think there should be a law? I believe in the First Amendment. But the First Amendment should have you also say, this is an opinion. It's not the policy of ABC. My opinion as a shithead, nasty bitch on The View is that I don't like Donald Trump. Okay, if you have to use that disclaimer, then I think it's okay. But when you manipulate the American public and trick them in the media, right? And you trick mainstream media, tricks you. Does anybody think that should be legal to trick you, to lie, to falsify evidence, to falsify interviews like they did for Kamala Harris, cut out the interview, piece it together to try to make Kamala Harris seem brighter than what she was? Because everybody in the United States now knows that Kamala Harris is dumber than a box of rocks. She's a dumb motherfucker, no doubt. My question is, you guys think it should be allowed, or should the FCC be yearly reviewing licenses and giving warnings? And if you get enough warnings, you lose your license. I think it should. I'm tired of the manipulation. I'm tired when George and I will find a news story that we know to be fact. We've done our research. We've seen the indictment, or we have a source, and then we double check the source's information. We know it to be fact. George, what do you think should happen to these news agencies if they intentionally, which appears to be intentional, they intentionally put out biased and lies in their news?
Fine them. Give them big fines, like fines that's going to hurt them. Look, Trump, what they're doing right now, the FCC, is they're putting pressure on ABC. And pretty much they're saying, if you don't cancel freaking Jimmy Kimmel, you might not get some of your licenses back. And specifically, they could, because he's out of California, right, Kimmel? Yeah. So the one station there, they could not renew the license for him.
Well, I checked on some things. Jimmy Kimmel's views are in the basement. The views are in the basement. They're only keeping those people on air. They're not keeping it because if it was a normal show, they would already be done. They're only keeping them on air because they use them to put out biased information. It's part of that left program. I wouldn't be surprised if they're getting money from USAID type organizations and they're funneling the money in saying, oh no, don't cancel The View. We'll give you extra money to make it up. Because if ABC's ratings, by the way, they're in the tank. ABC's ratings have hit the basement. From the other day, George, when we built out that story, I was sick. ABC's views are in the tank. Anybody smart would say, hey, I'd like to fix these views. Let's put on can you imagine an unbiased channel like an ABC, an NBC, a CBS? No bias in their programming at all. No biased shows, no biased opinions, just a neutral. I'm going to say this, the first media company that does that and hires some people like George and I to show the other day, George, when I put the information about ABC, I actually used AI to source it all. Their views are all down. It's because ABC is either being funded, in my opinion, there's some backdoor funding or backdoor deals, because the first media company, I challenge the media companies out there, the first one, because let's face it, when was the last time you heard a show like The Big Mig being picked up by one of the big media companies? I mean, you've got Gutfield on Fox, but he was already there. When was the last time you heard that they hired Roger Stone or somebody else to provide another side to the news? I'm not telling you can't have a guy leaning one way or the other as a host. I'm saying, but how about putting out a truthful product? How about a show that doesn't have a bunch of DEI bullshit in it? A bunch of LGBTQ getting jammed down your throats? How about a show that just plays neutral America? Good, wholesome families doing good, wholesome things. And I'm not talking about racist bias. I'm not talking about not having, every race represented in some variety of show. I'm talking about all the rest of these agendas that are constantly cramming down our throats. Let me tell you, a media company that does it, that has the balls to do that, will be the winner in this game, I guarantee you, because people are tired of it. I don't think even the left wants to hear all that crap. It's the way they word everything. They always like to manipulate their adjectives or manipulate the way they present. And they'll say something like, well, here we go, Donald Trump, here he goes again. I'm saying that we need neutrality, man. People are tired of the division and chaos. I challenge the big agencies. Why don't you get some shows on the other side? Why don't you get some neutral programming directors? Maybe look at the executives you have. Maybe it's time to do a round of firing. You want a successful agency and you want big views? Get rid of them all. All right. Multiple young men allegedly drugged and raped by super predators on Jeffrey Epstein's island, New Mexico, Zorro Ranch.
Shocker.
Zorro Ranch was kind of ignored until it hit the news, George, and now all of a sudden everybody said, I guess they've been digging up in the property looking for bodies, and because of that, all of a sudden a bunch of people have come out and said, yeah, I got drugged and raped there. Tell me about this.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's the new allegations. We knew there was nefarious crap going on over there, but it's coming back to surface because actually 60 Minutes in Australia did a documentary on this, and yet you now there's a whistleblower that came on. You're going to see her. She's going to be talking. It's crazy. Her name is Shanti Davis, and she says there was a hunt for the perfect gene pool, and they were using that place for it, trying to create, I don't know, the perfect baby or kids or whatever they are. Something like what Hitler did. So she goes, and I'm going to quote her. She goes, I do remember overhearing conversations about trying to create the perfect baby, perfect gene pool. I wonder what that is, but let's just play the clip. Hear it from her.
Girls waking up in sort of like a dark room with like a female doctor standing over them, feeling like maybe there is some kind of procedure that had happened that they weren't aware of. And I believe this is in the file. Sure, there's something in there about a baby actually being born and then just disappearing, like Ghislaine taking it. I personally never witnessed anything like that, but I do remember overhearing conversations about trying to create the perfect baby, the perfect gene pool. And I know that there was sort of a hunt, if you will, for the perfect gene pool.
Zorro was a wacky hideaway for Epstein and his cronies and a place to enact their most freakish fantasies, including at one point a plan for a controversial designer baby and human cloning project, in which emails from the files show the maniacal Epstein was prepared to invest in, as long as he remained anonymous.
We were hearing some of the most horrible and heinous things that anyone could imagine. The allegations span everything from the harvesting of sex organs to allegations of women having forced abortions or forced pregnancies, or coerced pregnancies. I think when we think about the stories and the span of stories, it sounds fictional. It sounds like a horror film.
Interesting. This is 60 Minutes Australia, but yet here you see our media continuing to try to not pay attention.
What's her name? Wasn't one of the victims from Australia the one that's allegedly committed suicide?
Yeah.
Forget her name. I apologize for not remembering her name. But
more and more has come out. We still don't see any arrests. We got victims, but we don't have any participants. Only Epstein Maxwell. That's it. So this is an area we need to see some arrests. So Todd Blanche, if you're watching the show, love to see some arrests over the Epstein stuff. We still don't have any. And there are lots of people that are guilty, celebrities, influencers, political figures, judges potentially. Let's get some real arrests going on here. And let's make some real consequences. I'd like to see some DOJ arrests, prosecutors inside of the DOJ that intentionally hid crimes, destroyed evidence. Let's see some FBI agents get arrested. Let's see some people in government, more of them get arrested. All right. If you love the show, you know what to do. Thumbs up. Leave us a comment. We need those comments in the chat. Get in there in the regular comments, not just chat. Get over on comments. Got to build that because Rumble is looking at all that stuff. Repost, share the live link, share the content, short form, long form. Repost us on your own Rumble account or in your own social media. Go to town, help out the Big Ming Show because we need all the help from you guys. And for those of you that are helping, as always, Melody, we appreciate your live link posts. You do it regularly. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for being here. God Country family, we love you. George, last words on the way out of the gate, brother.
It's hump day. Get it on. Anybody want to come over? Let me know. Anyway, have a great day. Stay blessed. We'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.
I might have to let it drop. Said got it, hella big, had the money, again, like said had the
Are you ready to stand up for your community and support your local sheriff? Join the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association and become a vital member of the Sheriff's Citizens Posse. At CSPOA.org, we empower citizens like you through weekly webinars, arming you with the knowledge to back your constitutional county sheriff. Together, we can uphold our Constitution and ensure liberty and justice for all. Your community needs you now more than ever. Visit CSPOA.org and join the Sheriff's Citizens Posse today. Make a difference. Stand for freedom. That's CSPOA.org. Your country, your fight, your future.
What if you could predict your financial future? And what if you could trade on it? Introducing Block Trust IRA. The future in your hands. An astonishing 88,000 millionaires were created last year from the Bitcoin boom, and you could be next. Block Trust IRA is the only crypto management firm powered by AI-driven strategies, ranked #1 in the world by Bitcoin Magazine. The Block Trust IRA platform is built for everyone, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Predictive AI technology that was once only reserved for insiders and elites is now available to you. It's time to leave the old buy and hold strategies behind. Your assets are protected with military-grade security, offline cold storage, and $200 million in insurance. Visit BlockTrustIRA.com to book your free consultation and ask how to claim up to $2,500 in deposit bonuses today. Bitcoin changed the game. AI changes the strategy.
Hi folks, I'm here today to introduce you to the Prepper Bar from PrepperBar.com, the most unique precious metals product we have seen in a long time. These 62-gram bars are perforated and easily broken down into your choice of 3 different sizes to fit a multitude of needs. Whether it be from asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil, or its unique utility for barter and trade, the Prepper Bar makes a perfect gift for all the precious metal lovers out there. Exclusively made here in the USA and selling out fast. Available in both gold and silver, these slim Prepper Bars fit neatly in your wallet, and their utility enables use in any situation.
Forged through rigorous training and honed by the finest instructors on Earth, these canine units serve beside our nation's warriors as they fight to preserve what we cherish. When these warriors complete their duty, the Warrior Dog Foundation provides them with a home deserving of the service they've given us all. At our state-of-the-art kennels, they receive rehabilitation and care suitable for heroes, because that's what they are. Be a part of giving them a future today. Visit WarriorDogFoundation.org.